All right, our guest is the great Kenny White at KYD Vegas on Twitter, and he right now in first place of the Friday
Congratulations.
Circa Invitational. So Kenny, congrats on that. Let's keep it rolling. You know, we get to claim you here. We put our arms around you, Kenny. But at KYD Vegas on Twitter, where do you want to start? We'll go down the list and we'll hit some of the bigger games. But you lead the way. What game do you want to lead off with here from the college card tonight?
Yeah, you're my guys. I was doing the Thursday, Friday shows with you for a couple of years. And this year, I think because maybe the Invitational kind of threw that off a little bit. I don't want to give away anything the Invitational. Matt Humans likes to, make it a surprise on his show of who everybody has. So it's kind of been a little difficult in that aspect. But one game I did not use in the contest, the Penn State-Ohio State game. I have a ticket on Penn State at 22-1 to win the national championship, but I leaned Ohio State in this game. Drew Eller is a freshman going on the road in this hostile environment. That's going to be a tough start for him. And Penn State has not had explosive plays this year. 85th in the country in plays of 10 yards or more, 125th at plays of 20 or more. So it's not an offense that's going to give you a lot of big plays. They like to really churn this out. I don't think he can do that against Ohio State. I like what I've seen from McCord. 9.7 yards a pass, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think Ohio State's headed in the right direction. So, yeah, I like Ohio State in that contest.
That was my lean, Kenny. I didn't get to the window yet. I did play. I took my unit, I split it in half. I did first half under, full game under. Two great defenses. What did your numbers come out to on the total in this one?
I'm right there on the total. I made it 45, so had no play there. And, but your first thought against these teams, you're thinking over, but then you start to look. You got the number 1 and number 2 defenses in the country in yards per play allowed. So I think that's what type of game it's going to be, more of a defensive game. Got to also check the weather. Could be windy. A lot of wind in the Midwest this weekend.
Yeah, I think Yurcich and Franklin are playing possum. I think they're going to bring out this up-tempo explosive play offense. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I have them to win the Big Ten and to make the college football playoffs. So I'm going to sit it out, Kenny. I'm going to just sit it out and hope that they've been holding back.
I mean,
another game. Let me give you an underdog I like a lot. I like Kent State. I took Kent State, a team that hasn't won a game yet. I took 10 with them early in the week on last Sunday at Circa. It's down to 7 now, but I still think it's a huge edge. This is really more of a fade of Buffalo. I don't like the coaching change. Maurice Lindquist never been a coordinator in his career when he took this job at Buffalo. I don't like those situations. And my guy, Kenny Burns, has never been a coordinator either. He's the head coach at Kent State, but he did learn under P.J. Fleck, and he was in the MAC with Fleck at Western Michigan before they went to Minnesota. But Maurice Lindquist, when you look at Buffalo, Lance Leopold's last 3 years there, he was 24-10, but more importantly, 17-4 in the conference. He dominated the MAC. Since Lindquist has taken over, 13-19 overall, 9-10 in the MAC. The talent level has really dropped off. So I'm fading them. I don't think they can win the game. I think it's going to be close down to the wire. I think the team that scores last wins this game. I'll take 220 in that situation anytime.
Talking to Kenny White at KYD Vegas on Twitter. First place in the Friday Circa Invitational. His official plays will be coming out later tonight with Matt Humans there. I don't know if this is a play of yours, but I'm curious your thoughts. We've talked about service academies. The trend certainly, Kenny, 40-10-1 to the under since 2006, and we've seen the market react to that. But we've also got a double-digit spread with the starting quarterback out for Air Force. What did you make of Navy Air Force in Annapolis on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, well, Sunday at 11 a.m., as soon as the numbers went up, this was the first game I looked for. I went right to the total. I went under 39.5. And, the reason why these games go under is they both run the same offense. So the defense sees that offense 7 days a week. They know exactly how to stop that offense. And these offenses, sometimes they can't be stopped. They can be contained and slowed down, and that's what happens. You end up getting a 12 to 14 play drive. They go 75 yards, and maybe it stalls inside the 10, and you get a 35-yard field goal. So there's not as many plays in these games. I think they average college football game now is down to 133 plays a game. That's down like 4 to 5 plays from last year. I don't know what happened the previous couple of years, but that's down 11 plays from just 2019 when the average plays in an FBS game was 144. These games have about 120 plays in them. So, and when you know what's coming, it's easy to stop, and that's why these games do go under. I made the game 8, though, Tim. You asked about the side without Larrier. I think his passing ability, without that passing ability, helps that total under again as well. But I think it helps keep maybe the dog in the game a little bit here. So I do lean to the dog. Yeah. I don't like the under as much now, 33.5.
I know. Well, you're talking about a total that's moved almost a full touchdown since the opener there at 39.5. So, yeah, having that early grab of the under there is a nice one to have. Kenny White joining us here at KWhitey Vegas on Twitter. Another game, Sean has a play on Clemson going up against Miami. Total of 48.5, and Clemson laying 3. Miami led at the half against UNC, and then UNC was able to run away with that. What do your numbers say on Clemson and Miami on Saturday evening?
Well, I was kind of waiting for Tyler Van Dyke, whether he would play. I figured he would, but they said he was in a walking boot cast, I think from his ankle up to his hip, trying to keep him healthy. But it was said on Monday, even though he was in that walking boot, that he was going to play in this game. He's a tough kid and he'd play. I make Miami the favorite, Sean. I'm taking the 3, and I took 3.5 with Clemson today. I waited for this to make sure that Van Dyke was playing, because it is a pretty big drop off. But the kid's definitely not 100%. But I think Miami has enough talent to hang around. I don't trust the Clemson offense. We just haven't seen good things out of this offense. They're the same as they were last year with DJU. The numbers are almost identical. So I think it's a lower scoring game. I do like the points with the home team.
We're talking to Kenny White at KWhitey Vegas on Twitter, and you can follow him there. Just kind of bouncing around a little bit, looking at different games. I'm curious to get your thoughts on USC-Utah, because we've been waiting all year for the return of Cam Rising. I don't know if we're ever going to get it, Kenny, and they've had to deal with a bunch of injuries. USC coming off of a horrendous performance. We know how shaky they are defensively, but my curiosity is, can Utah take advantage of a bad defense in USC? So you've got a total of 52.5 and a spread of now 6.5 at Circa. So what do you make of this one?
Yeah, this total's even down lower now, Tim. I made USC 10 in the game, and the total was almost a play for me. It was the 8th pick for my contest plays in the Circa contest, and that total is over the total, and that was 53 at that time. I'm looking at 51.5 at Circa now. Somebody just hit that under. Yeah, Utah is an under team this year. They weren't an under team last year. Both games these two played against each other were extremely high scoring. That was Cam Rising in there. I'm guessing they bet under because news probably came out that Rising wasn't going to play. I expected that. USC they're a team that I've been betting over every week. They're an over machine. They did face the best defense they've seen all year last week in Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame's defense and Utah's defense rated very, very similar. But this week, USC is at home. My model has USC scoring 37 against this Utah defense, even as good as it is. But it has this game 37-27. I think this game's played in the 60s, not in the 50s.
All right, Kenny White joining us here. Make sure to catch out all his official plays coming up later tonight when his picks are revealed on the Friday Circa Invitational there with Matt Humans. A couple other quick thoughts here regarding some games. Duke, Florida State. This line is starting to move. Maybe it's an indicator that Riley Leonard is going to play. I like Florida State here in this spot, Kenny, because if Riley Leonard is out there, is he 100% healthy? So we're starting to see the movement. Maybe that's an indicator that indeed Leonard is going to play. But what were your numbers based off of this game with the questions about Riley Leonard's health?
Yeah, I have a 5-point difference. I made Florida State 16 without Leonard and 11 if Leonard plays. That's a high ankle sprain, but maybe he took, something out of Patrick Mahomes' book and how to get back to, healthy faster than you normally would. So that's where I'm at. No play on the side.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.